15 love.
A lot of people coming across from the Arthur Ashe Stadium, filling the court. It's going to be packed here, I tell you.
15 all.
It's unusual to see Pete Sampras playing in Louis Armstrong Stadium. I don't think he's played here in 4 years. So
I remember him on this court when it was #1 court, the court, against Alex Korecha in that classic match. Won it in the 5th set. What was it? 5, 6 years ago? 6 years ago, I think it was.
1996, and he went on to win the finals here against Michael Chang. Last time he won the Open. Here's an opening right away.
30 all.
Oh, that's not bad. First ace of the match. There you saw it, 130. Pretty quick. Immediately, Rusedski in behind his second serve.
This match is going to have a bit of the quality of a grass court match. A lot of big serves, a lot of quick volleys.
A lot of volleys, indeed.
And when the green light for the break point comes, you better run through it.
Well, Greg's only got one. He's got 2 first serves in. That's a great second. A really good kicking side spin serve. He'd almost be gone with that serve, would have been shaking hands with the crowd.
Absolutely, there's no question of that.
And the crowd is getting bigger and bigger. Everyone has just been watching Serena Williams out on the main Arthur Ashe Stadium court, and they've taken that 60-second walk and have come into the Louis Armstrong Stadium court, which also will feature another Brit after this match, Tim Henman, against Juan Ignacio Chela of Argentina.
Anything an elbow. Pete Sampras to serve.
Love 1, Sampras serving.
Oh, there you saw it, though. Sampras going after the backhand of Rusedski on that forehand as he came in.
I must say, Joel, when we did that match against Christian Place, there was a lot of volleyed mistakes. And that one actually was a comparatively easy volley. So it just begs the question.
15 all.
Well, no question, David, that we spoke about that the other night. Sampras, he needs to make those volleys.
I just feel a lot of tension around the court now. Well, isn't it? It's going to be a matter of who's going to dominate this serve and volley game. And it actually makes it rather pleasing to see something different rather than the huge baseline jewels that we've been seeing over the last week.
Makes you think of Stan Smith playing John Newcomb.
That's Sampras' first ace. Sampras seeded 17, Rusedski 33. So they both reached their allotted spot. Sampras is expected to win.
Thanks. Game Sampras.
1 game all. The match immediately being dominated by both players with their serves and volleys. Faces being illuminated. There's Paul Anacone, coach to, just moving in there, coach to Pete Sampras. Just saying the faces being illuminated by the floodlights. Certainly not by sunlight.
No sunlight here today.
15 all.
That's the serve Rusedski's going to be hitting a lot tonight. He knows that Sampras is weaker on the backhand side, and that's a favorite serve for just about any left-hander.
Rusedski back with his coach, Sven Grunwald.
Thirteen, 15.
I'd be interested to see here if Sampras, when he's returning, puts his left foot in the alley and says to Greg, oh, go ahead, I dare you, serve it down the center. Well, he is standing into the alley.
And look what happens. That Joel, beautifully called. Beautifully called. Second ace.
You got to make some tactical concessions when you're playing someone with the firepower of Rusedski.
Yeah, Greg obviously got a quicker serve than Sampras, but obviously doesn't have so much variety.
40-30.
So Rusedski still got this point to take a 2-1 lead.
Game Rusedski. He leads 2-1.
So Greg Rusedski leads by 2 games to 1. No breaks of serve, and as you would expect, it's a serve and volley game.
Look at this crowd. It's only going to get more and more packed, David.
This court is going to have a great atmosphere throughout the whole night. 2 wonderful matches. There's another wonderful serve from Sampras. So, 2 aces to Sampras, 2 aces to Rusedski. Some big serving here.
Well, they both know it's going to be a shootout and see who can hit enough returns to open up the court. And again, that's going to be very emotional. I virtually guarantee you're going to see Pete Sampras pump his fist if he can get that break. A few miles away from any of that right now.
Beautifully played. Now, the intriguing thing so far is that 2 games all, just watch this marvellous Sampras serve, is that I know it's early days yet, but Sampras has got 78% of his serves in. So he's got 7 serves in, won 6 of them, that's the first serve. Greg has got also 7 in, but won only 4 of them. So 58% of Greg's serves first serves have gone in.
15 off.
And 78% is a high rate of first serves to get in. So Sampras already clicked into pretty good gear. But hey, statistics, who cares about statistics?
Well, Sampras, I don't expect him to keep up that first serve percentage throughout this match, to keep it that high. That would be incredible if he kept it up that way through a match. But I think part of why he's doing that is to get himself a good tempo, and also because he knows Rusedski isn't going to hurt him on too many returns. If Rusedski's going to break serve, he's going to break it with a couple of whipping passing shots, particularly off the forehand, or a Sampras error.
Sampras trying to take the ball early, trying something different. And Sampras in his previous service game raced to love, and this one could be love as well. 10 minutes gone, nearly 5 games completed. We're averaging 2 minutes a game, which is extremely quick. So it's 3-2 to Rusedski.
Rusedski leads 3-2.
Sampras serving 2-3 opening set. And that's what happens if you don't put your first volley away. This is for both players. They've both got the ability to pass.
Well, Sampras certainly aiming more for the Rusedski backhand. Against most people, he would have hit that forehand down the line. And he knows that he's got to pick away at the backhand, but Rusedski knew it too, and a good shot.
25-30. Here's a chance for Rusedski.
And there you see some of the movement on Sampras' part. Rusedski, he just kind of nudged that return over. And again, to get this is definitely an opening. Good play from Rusedski.
Pete missing his first serve at a vital stage here. Oh, he's making Sampras play there. Lovely little dipping slice. And here is a magnificent chance for Rusedski. Triple break point at 3-2 up in this opening set.
And the way these guys play, call it triple set point.
Could be. This is big. But we've seen Pete get out of this many times. But he's only got one first serve in this game. Much too high the return. Didn't quite control it, did he?
Cracks the volley, but he knows he's got to play those extra careful and wise at this stage.
15-40. You're almost expecting an ace somewhere, aren't you? But here is another chance on the serve. 4 out of 5 first serves missed. Well, that was a giveaway. I think really felt Rusedski had a chance there of a lob, and he literally gave that to Sampras.
Well, it's tough to lob Pete Sampras, and again, Rusedski less strong on the backhand passing shot than the forehand, so he didn't really feel the confidence with which he could turn and rip it. If he had more confidence, he'd want to roll that cross court.
Third chance for Rusedski. Would you believe it? He's got just 1 in out of 6 first serves.
Well, that's a good play from Sampras.
Great
he knows
second.
Rusedski likes the little backhand chip that he's nudged down. It's a lot harder to chip and get the ball down low. You can't really do that on the forehand. You need to take a bigger swing. So mixing it up like an American baseball pitcher.
Great comeback. And his first serve percentage has jumped down from 78 to 53, 25% in one game. Well, that is incredible.
That's good.
Now Sampras querying the serve.
Querying the volley.
Not quite sure.
I think Pete played the volley very close to the baseline, and it was long. And he, again, trying to find that Rusedski backhand and kind of push the volley, coax it deep.
Fourth chance for Rusedski. Another first serve missed. Here's his chance. It's there. Rusedski breaks after 15 minutes. And that was a really poor service game from Pete Sampras, simply because, Joel, he just couldn't get his first serve in.
Well, here you see Rusedski. He did chip and get the forehand return down, then kind of bunted it, set up the opening, and rolled that forehand. Great play from Rusedski. And David, that game illustrates exactly what we were talking about, the psychology of the rivalry. Sampras 8 in one lifetime, but Rusedski saying, now it's today, and you're not as good, Pete.
Rusedski's been saying he is playing as well as he was 5 years ago, and having seen him a couple of times, I would say he's probably near the mark. What I think he may lack is if it gets very close in matches, he may just slightly lack the self-belief when it gets close, and he almost lost to Shrikapau when leading 4-love in the final set and just squeezed home 6-4 on this court, which actually is an advantage for Rusedski. He's already played it under the floodlights. And Rusedski really now pushing on, 4-2 up, 30-love up, looking very good. And I am trying to be objective, as
Again,
you are.
He realizes that Pete's not who he was. And he's seeing that for himself.
Well, I must say the body serve that Rusedski is putting into Sampras is excellent. Sampras a number of times found it difficult to get out of the way of that ball, to get a good swing on it. And here's 3 points for Rusedski for a 5-2 lead. Opening set. Well, tamely, Sampras concedes that service game to love, and Rusedski is in charge. He leads by 5 games to 2.
Rusedski leads 5-2. Thank you. Seats quickly, please.
Well, this crowd is encouraging for Sampras as he comes to serve here at 2-5, because there isn't going to be, David, I regret to inform you, there will not be a soul rooting for Sampras in that stadium except for a few of your colleagues from the UK.
You mean rooting for Rusedski? Well, Rusedski is not, for some reason, not the most popular here. When Srikapan was playing him on this court, very unpopular. It was rather abusive, and it was quite surprising. But Greg is now used to all that. And Greg, I know, knowing Greg well, he'll just shut himself out and just concentrate on the job in hand. Sampras is serving with new balls, by the way. 20 minutes gone. Well, yesterday the crowd lifted James Blake on the Arthur Ashe Stadium court against Leighton Hewitt. And a packed house here tonight. I'll try to do the same for the old Warhorse.
Well, that's the kind of serving game that he wishes he'd had on the previous one. This is solid stuff, but then again, maybe Rusedski feeling fairly relaxed.
Still, it's an important game for Sampras, because if Rusedski does hold and wins the next set, at least Sampras will serve first in the second set. Just got to remember, Sampras' first serving in that last game was abominable. He got just 2 first serves in out of, what, 10?
40-15.
And it's consistent. I've seen Sampras a little bit. You've probably seen him more over the last year, and you can see there are things which never happened before. Just that little bit slower. A little bit more
slower,
sluggish.
a little more sluggish, not quite moving forward with the speed that he used to move in.
It's not for lack of effort. Everything is a struggle, a battle. Every point now he tries to win. Before he used to ease up so much. That's a great smash. So Sampras closes on 1 game, but now the real game, the one that counts, the one that Rusedski is about to serve, the one that could give him a 1-set-to-love lead.
Well, maybe Sampras will make a quick cell phone call right now to Jimmy Connors and ask for a few returns.
Rusedski serving for the opening set. And one thing he wants to do is get his first serve in. He can pick up a couple of points just on his first serve alone. Because that's what happens. Beautiful backhand. Misses, approves.
Block 15.
Well, when the pressure's on, as they say, he knows this counts.
Whoa,
Rusedski nearly. But now Sampras putting in a terrific fight back here. Some great returns on Rusedski's second serve, and Rusedski must get in the first serve. And Sampras praying that Rusedski misses that first serve. Real bubble in this match.
There's some of the movement you spoke about, David. Pete Sampras, arguably the best running forehand in tennis history. And Rusedski hit a pretty good half volley, but again, Pete way wide on the mark on the forehand pass.
5-3 Rusedski, 15-30.
Rusedski just one of
3 out of 4. Has missed first serve.
Right.
Just when he needed his first serve in. Oh, that was very strange. It was very near his body, wasn't it, Joel?
Well, the volley was just bad enough.
It was straight at Sampras, wasn't
but he made Sampras run forward a little more into the court than maybe he would have liked. So, and Sampras didn't have as much angle to work with.
You just feel here, Rusedski surely is going to get one of the next two in on the first serve. You feel a big serve's coming somewhere. There it is.
Well, he took a little off that one and went with that
Great angle,
kicker.
isn't it?
That was very smart.
Did you catch the speed?
97.
97. But great accuracy. That's quite brave, actually, isn't it? 30 all.
Well, he's a very smart player. Rusedski, he understands how to play his game.
Set point. Just the one he wanted. Goes out by a long way.
Got it. Well, that's a nice return from Sampras.
Now, if you were Greg Rusedski, which I know you're not,
Yes.
wouldn't you go for two massive serves?
I would hit this one, try
As
to hit
hard
this
as
one
you
right
can.
into Pete Sampras' left thigh. That's what I would do.
Just right into his body.
Right into his left
Okay.
backhand thigh, his backhand side. And that's why I'm not Greg Rusedski.
Well, that was
Wait.
over the... Oh, wait a minute. Has it been called? It hasn't been called. Sampras never used to query calls. These days he does. It's a second set point to Rusedski. I think that's about 110, that serve. I just caught the speed gun there. Second set point after 25 minutes. Missed another first serve. He's really making life hard for himself.
Well, that's difficult, and that's nerves. And even if Sampras doesn't win this first set, I think he goes, well, I made Greg work, but he didn't just roll me over to win the first. And I think there's a slight gain here.
And there'll be a doubt in Rusedski's mind if he did get to a long way down the line in front. Here we go, deuce. We're looking at a break back here. This is crucial for both players. Rusedski, having had 2 set points on his serve, has really not delivered the first serve at all. Just 2 of his first serves in this game, and Sampras has really punished him.
Rusedski, he just wanted to get that point over with and hit an ace. He didn't want to. This one
Now,
right
was
here.
that a fault? It was a fault. That was a good volley, but it was an easy volley, comparatively easy, Joel, wasn't it? Because it was waist high.
Well, Rusedski, but he moved in well. He moved in well. I mean, again, he's serving to the Sampras forehand, serving to his strength, but knowing that Sampras from that position can't angle the ball, a good play to serve into the body, as opposed to going with the swinger wide and giving Sampras an angle.
Deuce again. It's gone in.
Got it.
Yes, it's gone in.
I told you this was an American crowd. Something told me about it. Just an instinct I had.
Well, if Rusedski loses this serve, it's going to be a massive psychological blow to him in all counts. Just cannot get that first serve in, just because it's probably not quite relaxed enough. Should take a couple of deep breaths. It was quick. Another second serve coming. Sampras standing in. Right in.
Oh, Sampras tried to play a backhand chip similar to the shot Rusedski played when he broke Sampras, but again, it's not a shot in Pete Sampras' arsenal that he uses nearly as much as the backhand drive.
And if he'd stood back, he would have had a nice crack at the ball there, wouldn't he?
It's the whole psychology of the service return is always tricky.
Fourth deuce. Would you believe it? He just cannot get his first serve in. It's amazing he's still at deuce.
Well, Rusedski saying back that time.
Now, what is it? The third break point for Sampras. There's been 2 set points for Rusedski. Crucial moments, psychological crucial moments as well. Rusedski 5-3 up, remember. Would you believe it? He gets the first serve in. Rusedski misses the volley. Sampras breaks back. He's right back in this first set. A crucial blow to Rusedski and a big boost to Pete Sampras.
Oh my.
There are spots of rain on our commentary box, just very light spots.
Oh my.
And this is just what we didn't want. Now, the good news is I'm looking up at the sky. There are big black clouds. There's another plane takes off from LaGuardia, and they are moving these clouds, and that means there's a pretty bit of a wind out there. We just hope that wind keeps blowing and the rain stays away. Now, I hope he's not going to say players suspended. At the moment, Rusedski 5-4. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to the moisture on the lines, we're just waiting a little bit as the court does get very slippery and dangerous for the players. Thank you.
Sampras let off the hook early.
15 love.
And that's a volley Greg Rusedski has to make. I mean, you get opportunities, you got to put Pete Sampras away.
30 love.
Rusedski currently 26th in the race. Sampras at 32. That's why these opening few moments are dangerous, because you just don't quite have the rhythm yet.
Well, he's got the rhythm on the first serve.
15.
And he certainly has a 131 serve by Pete Sampras. And his third ace and a nice, comfortable hold in a dangerous position.
Greg Rusedski to serve.
Yeah, it's not like playing the first game of a match. You come out and you're in the engine room here of the set. What's going to happen? Well, it's going to turn in the next few games.
Good pick up from Rusedski, but Sampras there just lifting his head. Third double for Rusedski, the British number 2.
There are a couple of things you can look for when you're measuring Sampras's form. First is the pace on that first serve, which he hit at 131, but also the backhand. And I think when we see him come off the backhand, that means he's not confident on the shot. And that return flying well long.
Good first volley by Rusedski, getting the depth on it.
15.
And this is a time when Rusedski can close down the net. Sampras does not have a great topspin lob off the backhand side.
Oh, very sharp by Rusedski. Thought Sampras had flashed that one by him.
Rusedski leads 6-5. correction, first serve.
Well, perhaps the linesmen have been sitting around all day too, because that was a pretty good-looking serve and a clear overrule from the chair, Wayne McEwen.
Yeah.
Almost immediately correcting that lines call.
First serve.
Sampras almost hits the identical spot with the next serve.
15 love.
Directed every one of his serves since the restart to the Rusedski backhand.
Now, Sampras likes going into the Rusedski backhand because Rusedski is going to chip the ball. So that means Sampras is going to have a little more time to get to the return and play a first volley.
Rusedski electing a chip on the forehand as well.
And that's where Sampras is tested these days, and we've talked about this, Mark, before, is it unable to move as quickly to fill in that open sort of space in the court at 31 years old like he did at 24.
He was never the quickest in behind his serve anyway, was he? He just had that sort of remarkable ability to make the split step and be there and do something with his hands. And again there, was caught a good yard and a half behind the service line. Oh, he's in.
13-14.
Well, he's wrapped it around the frame 3 times. But there'll be no complaints for Rusedski.
And he'll take that. So Rusedski's third set point. He had two at 5-3 in the set. Well, he had a swing at it.
Yes.
Bridget Wilson, Pete Sampras' wife. Expectant one too. Change up on the first serve by Sampras. It's a higher floated return by Rusedski.
And you can tell this crowd is ready for this match. Really reacted audibly to that forehand volley winner.
I'm not sure I've ever seen Sampras hit a half volley and retreat.
Rusedski's gotten some good returns down at his feet. Obviously not feeling comfortable with that half volley because he said he just retreated back to the baseline.
Advantage Sampras.
That's a good serve to hit against Rusedski. That one into the body.
And Sampras snaps off that volley. Wasn't easy.
16-15. First set tiebreak.
The first set looked as though it was moving towards a tiebreaker, and it's finally arrived. Rusedski with a 16 wins and 5 losses. Well, having said that, I think that may have been a 1 missing there. 16 wins on the tiebreaker, 15 losses for Rusedski.
Sampras.
Well, an inauspicious start for Rusedski. Well, you hate to cough up a gift on the opening point of the tiebreaker. Well, Sampras in a giving mood as well.
1-all.
Bad error off the forehand. Paul Anacone. Looking a bit glum, isn't it?
That's well played by Rusedski. Really, Sampras not getting any free points off that first serve.
Yeah, having to play that volley behind the service line on the half volley. Well, that's going to give Rusedski some time.
Good speed in behind the serve by Rusedski, otherwise it would have been a difficult volley.
And I think it was a good volley as well, because he didn't volley cross-court into the Sampras forehand. Instead, he volleyed back into the Sampras backhand. That's remarkable, isn't it? The only points Sampras have won in the tiebreak have come on Rusedski double faults.
Yeah, plenty of nerves down there on the Louis Armstrong court, and especially on Rusedski's side. Serve, when it's really mattered, has let him down. And perhaps just putting a little bit too much pressure on himself. Sampras, as ever, looks exactly the same now as he would if it was 5-all in the 5th. What an incredible second serve by Sampras. Athletic jump, but you expect that from him.
And Sampras always measures his serve by how well his second serve is clicking as well. And that time it earned him that overhead. So on serve here in the breaker. Now Rusedski will be tested on this second serve.
And he was tested on the volley, and he wasn't up to it.
5-3. Sampras.
And Sampras, who was ahead at the beginning of the breaker, fell behind, is in front again.
Sampras.
Really a set that Rusedski should have won is in the hands of Pete Sampras now. That's the sign of the champion that he is, that he manages to find his 4th ace and set up 2 set points. Remarkable serving by Pete Sampras. It was a set when Rusedski could have imposed his will and perhaps put some extra pressure on the 4-time champion. But it's Sampras who delivers the goods.
Thank you, players are ready.
That woman just above Greg Rusedski on the right.
Thank you.
White hair. Judy Levering, former USTA president.
15.
And Sampras in a beautiful rhythm on that serve. I think every tennis coach, tennis analyst has looked at this Pete Sampras serve and says this might be the model of what all great serve should include. Tremendous leg drive, fluid motion up to the ball.
May not be the biggest serve on tour, but he certainly has a lot of other assets to back it up with.
Again, notice how he loads that power in the legs, leaps up at the ball, the energy is going up. And then, of course, the devastating wrist snap, the pronation of the racket down into the ball. Awesome.
As was that volley.
Yeah, do you think Sampras' volleys have gotten better over time?
Well, I think they've had to, because he's having to play more and more volleys, and especially in this match where Greg has returned well.
Kind of a wry look from Rusedski there. Not sure what he was suggesting with that look to Wayne McEwen.
Sampras.
So 6 points in a row for Sampras.
First game, second set.
And the former world #1 in charge in this 3rd round match.
Well, his last couple trips to the US Open, he's been a finalist. And that would be a great career for some players, but for Pete Sampras, that's labeled a disappointment. Losing first to Marat Safin and then to Leighton Hewitt last year.
I tell you, that's some lob to get over Sampras' head by Rusedski.
Well, Sampras may possess the best overhead in the game, so you play a shot like this, it's got to be good. And Sampras just giving Rusedski too much time. Rusedski was able to get to it, really execute.
Rusedski's tied with Andy Roddick for the fastest serve of the tournament at 137. He's really not up in this game, Rusedski, but electing to stay back a fair bit. Rusedski came through to this section of the draw by beating Alex Kim in the opening round in 4 sets. Got into a little bit of a hole there, and then an incredible match with Paradorn Srishapan. Match number 2 won that 6-4 in the 5th after 3 hours and 49 minutes. And could the fact that he's serving these double faults be attributed to fatigue in any way?
It could. Certainly, when you're training and playing matches, a little bit different. You always have to measure that nervous energy, something you can't train for. And sometimes Greg burns a lot of nervous energy. I think we've seen that early on, that at big moments, he has let himself down somewhat, because he has had plenty of chances here against the number 17 seed. Well, it's strange to say that, isn't it, Pete Sampras, the number 17 seed?
Well, if Pete were to lose this match against Rusedski, he'd drop down outside the world's top 50. And that will sound a lot weirder than the number 17 seed. He's a guy that first climbed the mountain of the rankings back in April 1993 after winning the title in Hong Kong. It's good movement by Rusedski, who is very agile for a man who's 6'4".
And Rusedski doing a good job of getting a lot of balls back into play. And that way he's getting some chances here, and now he's capitalizing. Love 30. Boy, this would be a great game to break.
15 pressure.
Now you've got to expect this kind of play from Sampras. He's willing to go after his serve. He's going to win plenty of points on it, and occasionally throw in the double.
Yeah, Sampras making sure of the first serve, really. 117 miles an hour.
Rusedski dodging that ball. Of course, if it had touched him, he would have lost the point.
Well, a little bit of pressure on Sampras at 30 all, and a bad unforced error allows Rusedski a chance to change the momentum in this match. Well, a quite unbelievable miss here by Pete Sampras. He just wanted to get the ball to check it to see whether it was soft, but in the strangest of circumstances, Rusedski's broken and needs 2-1. There's a little bit of moisture in the air. You just see Rusedski checking the lines. And mentally, what a big turnaround. Rusedski would have been feeling pretty down after losing that opening set, had his chances. Sampras looked as though he was upping his level on his serve, and Rusedski stems the tide. Third ace, matches his fastest of the match. Well, Pete hasn't really got in any sort of returning rhythm at all, and it was similar in the first set yesterday. Didn't really have a returning rhythm until 5-3, connected with a couple of turns. Rusedski got tied, and we've seen the same sort of start by Sampras here. That's better.
Fourteen, 15.
Well, good ground stroke pressure there from Sampras. Really measuring the forehands beautifully.
Juice.
Rusedski's 7th double. And they've all come at pretty critical moments.
Just one.
Now better first serve there.
Rusedski.
Rusedski has missed his serve. It seems like he's hitting it in the net, so that makes me think that he's thinking about transitioning in to play the volley instead of finishing the serve. You got to stay up on that hit.
Game Rusedski.
Lucy Rusedski,
Rusedski leads 3-1.
Greg's wife. A good game in the end by Rusedski. A couple of solid first serves, and he does consolidate the break.
About 15.
Careless volley. But again, Rusedski making him play.
Oh, that's far too good by Sampras.
And Rusedski put together a nice combination of return and pass. But Sampras just bringing out his best volley of the night on the full stretch, able to find a very delicate angle.
Go within time, Greg.
Rusedski again doing a good job tracking down the volley. And when Sampras is not playing well, you've got to put balls into play, and Rusedski's doing just that. Another chance now for the Brit, 15-30. Not enough on that return. As a serve and volleyer, you love to see a ball up around your shoulders because you can volley more decisively, more aggressively, playing the ball down into the court. And Sampras has gotten away from that body serve a bit. I think that's allowed Rusedski to play more balls back into Sampras's feet.
It's an opportunity missed here for Rusedski because Sampras not making his first serve. And I think, again, you can see the guy staying back on second serves. It's pretty heavy out there due to the conditions. And it's a little lackluster right now from Sampras.
Yeah, he goes through these patches, it seems, where he just isn't doing much. And again, it looks like he's coming up out of the hit, just getting away from what he does well, which is sound, solid execution.
Rusedski is returning incredibly well.
Advantage Rusedski.
And any time he can get his racket on the ball, he's knocking it down low to Sampras' feet. And a chance here to get the double break in the second set. There's a string gone for Sampras as well to compound the problems.
Well, Sampras strings those rackets so tightly, and you can see it looked like that one may have broken at the grommet, which is really where a lot of the stress accumulates in such a tight string bed. He stringed his rackets upwards of 85 pounds.
Can't convert on the volley, and indeed Rusedski breaks through for the double break.
Leads 4-1.
British number 2 leads by 4 games to 1. Well, it was the best shot in the world during the course of the 90s, that running forehand from Sampras. Fourth ace for Rusedski.
Sampras, you see him getting his grip right on that backhand.
That's a good body serve by Rusedski. That's what makes his serve so difficult as well. So much movement off the court.
Well, as a right-hander playing a lefty, that is the most annoying serve because it looks like you're going to play a forehand, but by the time the ball gets to you, it's right in your body, and you really have to play a backhand.
Oh, lightning fast reactions from Sampras on the return.
13-14.
That's why he is a 7-time Wimbledon champion, that abbreviated backswing. Oh, he's missed it. Looked like it might have called it a piece of the line.
You saw Rusedski call it out. He was almost inducing the linesman to call it out. But Wayne McEwen also along that sideline felt it was out too.
Please.
Sampras chewing up that second serve. Sampras suddenly a different player, down 1-4, 2 breaks.
Courtesy to both players, please do not call out in between first and second serves. Thank you.
Rusedski's down to 50% of first serves in this match. Pete unable to really do too much with that return. And again, Rusedski aiming for the body. Sampras picks him off, but it was the backhand that really set up the chance.
Yeah, Rusedski tried to apply some pressure,
Advantage
but this
Sampras.
response here, not well handled by the Brit. Sampras easily finishing it off. So another break point, number 3 here.
Yeah, he's missed it.
Game Sampras.
And you can see why that double break that Rusedski claimed in this second set might be crucial.
Rusedski leads 4-2.
Well, from what I see in this set of tennis, I think that's telling us that these conditions are very slow. It's very humid out there, and the ball is not traveling through the air quickly. Davis Cup captain Patrick McEnroe looking on, and I'm sure he's saying, how come these big servers are losing their serves so much? And I think it has a lot to do with the conditions here. Well, Sampras got the wake-up call.
15 love.
That's incredible to think with Sampras, isn't it? That if it hadn't have been for the extension of the seeds in Grand Slams these days, with 32 men getting seeded, he wouldn't have been seeded. Could have had a Sampras Agassi first round.
I think it was, what, back 1989 was the last time he was unseeded. I mean, he's been what men's tennis has been all about the last decade. Can you imagine? How about a Hewitt Sampras opener? Well, as you mentioned, Mark, if Sampras doesn't defend the points he earned here last year, his ranking will drop outside the top 50. So if he doesn't have a good indoor season at the end of the year, he could be unseeded down at the Australian Open.
Game Sampras.
Love service game for Sampras, and he closes the gap on Rusedski. But the Brit still leads 4-3.
Rusedski leads 4-3.
Certainly, the winners to 1-4 stereo ratio. Bear out the fact that Sampras is the playmaker.
Thank you. To the seats quickly, please. Time.
So, a massive game coming up here in the context of this match. Rusedski, who grabbed a double break to go up 4-1, has been hauled back to 4-3. And now, in a strange sort of way, the pressure on Rusedski.
Now that's one way to face up the pressure, get the first serve in.
That's love.
Get yourself ahead in the count. Put the pressure onto Sampras to come up with something. That's what Leighton Hewitt's so good at. He never beats himself.
That's a
Well, sometimes the serving volleyer will stay back on occasion, particularly when he's ahead in the score, and see if he can't win a point in a different way. I'm sure Rusedski now will reestablish that serving volley rhythm right here.
nice. Excellent.
Oh, Sampras finds a gorgeous pass.
Now, Rusedski has tried to attack this side, but Sampras is finding his rhythm. Look at how he sets that up. His weight's off the back foot, but he stays down on it as long as he can, and that helps him create that beautiful line. Now, courageous serve by Rusedski, going right into the same backhand that Sampras had just hit the winner off of.
Good response by Rusedski.
And that's a good play by Rusedski. Mental toughness, saying to Pete Sampras, in effect, you might hit one good backhand, but I'm going to keep coming back to that side, and you're going to have to beat me with your less effective shot. I think Rusedski has plenty of respect for the Sampras forehand.
Sampras has an incredible 18-0 win-loss record in night matches here at the US Open. And a phenomenal 20 wins in the past 21 meetings with left-handers. So all the stats would suggest this is Sampras's for the taking.
I like the tennis Rusedski's playing tonight. He's putting on good pressure on Sampras, chipping and charging on that second serve. And that's how he's going to beat Sampras. He's not going to beat him from the baseline.
Often do you think you've seen Sampras play as many half volleys as he has tonight?
I mean, I'd say in the last 6 months, I've seen more than I did in his entire career.
There was a little bit of cat and mouse going on the slice backhand. Sampras made the move, but couldn't control the volley.
That was a nice little approach, too, wasn't it? He snuck in behind it. And Rusedski came up with a nice backhand drive.
Rusedski just having a look at that one. He's not going to get any joy from the umpire. Sampras does all he can do. And he'll force Rusedski to serve out for this second set. 4-5, Sampras trails. Same scoreline, different evening, different set. Rusedski trying to serve this one out.
Thank you. Seats quickly, please. Back of the court.
I didn't hear him say, close the gates. I feel like we're watching a cage match here when they close the gates.
The longer this match goes on, it could well develop into something like that.
Love.
Well, this is good serving by Rusedski. He's not trying to do too much. He's not going for the heat. And I think recognizing that Sampras hasn't really found a rhythm on his return. great play. Got himself into the net for the volley.
Well, I really enjoy watching Rusedski when he's playing like this. Aggressive. He comes in on the forehand, plays the volley, and makes it a very tough proposition to win a point when he's got a solid position at the net.
And in contrast to the previous evening, Rusedski does indeed serve out this set, and we've got a match on our hands. The British number 2 has levelled things up. That return of serve has been what's been so impressive about Rusedski this evening. He's really managed just to take the pace off, knock it down low, and anybody that's been a serve volleyer knows how difficult it is to generate pace below the height of the net. Edberg was one of the few players that was able to do that. Used to play Edberg and hit that kicker, you get the ball down at his feet and you'd find yourself still running away from the court when you thought you were going to be setting up for plenty of time on the pass.
Same feeling you had when you played me, Mark?
Similar. Glimpses of his best. Just laying the racket on the ball.
Yeah, both players executing a similar strategy. Sampras is going to force Rusedski to beat him with his backhand pass. Boy, that is an awesome, awesome volley. Beautifully timed.
Rusedski doesn't like the call. I'm not surprised, to be honest. It did look a little deep. McEwen are moved at 40 love. You're not going to make that big a protest.
Yeah, I think Rusedski was right that it was probably a couple inches out. The linesman probably missed it. McEwen, wisely perhaps, not willing to overrule.
I think the one thing that Sampras used to do in his matches as well that was so disheartening for the opponents was just shut you out. And basically you felt as though, well, I've got no chance of breaking this guy. And that put added pressure on your serve. Whereas tonight, Greg's returned so many balls, he has to feel optimistic. As I'm sure Sampras does after that return.
Just when we say that he hasn't, got it, his energy isn't right, all of a sudden he comes up with a shot like that. Can he sustain it?
15-all.
That's what's so tough about the Rusedski serve. His ability to hit all 4 corners off the same ball toss. That's well played. Coolly done when he got there.
Well, Sampras was in a winning position right here, but he just couldn't play this volley well enough. He popped it up.
From 15.
Sampras so good at having an understanding of the ebb and flow of a 5-set match.
Wait, please.
I agree with you, Leaf. I feel as I need to see a little bit more of a reaction at the moment to boost the energy, the intensity. That's sharp. There's no more than half a chance.
47.
And this is why Rusedski tries to stay off the forehand. He can snap that cross court or inside out like that.
Okay, Rusedski, new balls, please.
Good speed and good closure by the British number 2. And he finds a nice short angle.
You know, and that volley was a similar volley to the one he missed on break point down at 5-3. He had a floating volley. He just didn't move his feet. But that one was a good example of what happens when he does move his feet well. He's aggressive. He's in the right position. I think that helps him get the racket face to the ball in the right way. He's going to run out of rackets. He's already got 3 out.
New balls for Sampras. And I do think it worked for Pete throughout the course of the 90s, the fact that he was so cool, composed. He never really looked flustered at any time. But, you know, as the years roll by, you get the feeling that you just need to build yourself up a little bit more. I think Agassi has it in a natural way. He's always so busy on the court, the speed between it. But Pete's just got that sort of different persona. See that, still a pretty cool evening here in New York. People are wrapped up.
(40-15).
Sampras, who cruised through his couple of opening matches here, took care of Albert Portas 6-1, 6-4, 6-4 in the first round, and then Christian Pless 6-3, 7-5, 6-4. The first set of these champions dropped for Sampras.
40-13.
In there, another confidence building return by Rusedski. But he was too far down in the game, with Sampras ahead at 40 love.
Sampras leads 2-1.
Sampras stays ahead 2-1.
Obviously, Rusedski more of an established star on the tour. Rusedski's blanketing the net tonight. Just not letting those passing shots by him. Rusedski certainly is a star. 12 tournament titles, 2 this year, 1 in Auckland at the start of the year and in Indianapolis this summer. And a player who is closing in on $8 million in prize money. How many pounds is that? Many?
It's more than either of you have put together.
40 love.
Sampras back with Paul Annacone, who he's going to be working with until the end of this tournament. That's well done. Smart play by Sampras on the overhead.
And this was a nice point. Great lob, quickly up over Rusedski's head. Rusedski tries to get another lob back over Sampras.
Game, Rusedski.
Vicious serve by Rusedski to close that game out. His 6th ace.
I think on paper, Sampras feels like, shot for shot, I'm better than Rusedski. But you can see why Rusedski poses so many problems. Devastating serve, and when he's aggressive at the net, he's as good as anyone in the game up there. Well, now is the time for Rusedski to apply some of that good return pressure. Second serve.
Big swish of the racket from Sampras sends that ball on its way. At least the nature of the game is changing. It is slowing down, although it's quicker here at the US Open. Again, you can see just Sampras not getting as many free points as he used to.
Well, Mark, you've talked a little bit about that Sampras' racket is a very conventional racket. They don't even make that one anymore. Very small frame. Do you feel that he might consider playing with a larger racket, that it might be something he should try?
Well, he certainly stated that, hasn't he? I think at the end of this year, he's going to move to a bigger head. Same frame, but a slightly bigger head, and it didn't seem to cause him any lack of pace there, though. Sampras 3-2 ahead.
So 2-3. Rusedski serving.
15 love.
Look at Rusedski's racket. He has a racket upwards of 95 square inches, so he has a little more of a hitting zone, a little more of a trampoline effect, so he can throw more pace with that bigger racket. He missed it. No, that's Sampras at his best. Full flight on the forehand. Somehow able to pick up that serve from Rusedski out to the forehand. He picked it up very early. He's missed a couple chances, and there's another pass that goes just over the baseline.
And that's the problem when you haven't been winning enough matches. Sampras, the camp. Jill Schmoller next to Bridget Wilson, his agent.
Game Rusedski, 3-all.
There's been a lot of changes in Sampras' life, really, since after the US Open last year. He's split with his coach, Paul Annacone at the end of the year, and then was coached by Tom Gullickson for the first 2 months, then Jose Higueras back with Paul Annacone, and he himself says he gives me a little bit of the stability that I'm looking for.
Well, they also changed agents at that time as well. Used to work with Jeff Schwartz for a long time, and now has shifted his allegiance outside the court in representation. So it changed a lot in his life, most of it on the personal side. Well, that's the danger of volleying into the Rusedski forehand. He can hurt you. This is a fine pass. Open stance forehand, but he pulls it cross court.
Well, Rusedski's done a great job on Sampras' second serve. Sampras winning 57% of the points, but that's quite low by his high standards, and perhaps that double fault was because Rusedski is making his life a little uncomfortable.
We're certainly going to look at how Sampras ties his shoes. Very involved process there.
Now, those particular shoes do come with some extremely long laces. I personally just chop them off. Sampras.
Yeah, that was a lot. I mean, you could tie a boot with that thing.
Rusedski misses a chance there. That's why you need a little bit of variety behind your serve, even when you're such a great serve volleyer like Sampras. Bridge number 2 expecting Sampras to be coming in, try to get the ball down low.
Game, Sampras.
Double digits for Sampras on the aces. And he just keeps his nose in front.
Sampras leads 4-3.
4-3, third set. Getting to a critical juncture in the match for both players. 3-4, third set. That's a good volley by Rusedski. It wasn't easy. Seems to be more willing to try and hit the return, Sampras, when Rusedski served there. So he wants to get the cheap point off the return.
Well, this set has been a fabulous volleying display from Rusedski. I'm not sure I've seen him volley better for an extended period of time.
Rusedski.
It's Rusedski's first love service game of this fourth set, and in fact he's only dropped 4 points on his serve. Sampras failing to make any sort of impression. If If you were playing, would you like to see your coach being interviewed?
No, I would not. I want him to be focusing on what was happening on the court. Well, it's Paul Annacone assuming 2 roles. He's director of the USTA Player Development Program, so he wears a couple of hats here as he's also helping Pete Sampras along with his career at this point.
There's Sampras at his best when he slams the foot into the ground.
15 all.
And knifes a very important volley. Hasn't won a tournament since Wimbledon 2000, Pete Sampras. There's no way he would like to retire from the game without another title at least to his name. Rusedski did well to grab the opening point, but Sampras shuts him out. Rusedski's going to have to come out and serve to stay in this 3rd set. So the pressure squarely on Rusedski's shoulders now. Sampras has done his bit. British number 2 serving to stay in this 3rd. Just looked half a step slow getting to that first volley. Couldn't really do anything with it.
You've got to force yourself to move your feet on big points. Well, that serve was so big it knocked the vibration dampener out of the Sampras racket.
13-15.
Another devastating serve. And you can see how Sampras really fooled 128 miles an hour.
Judgment from Rusedski.
Well, Sampras stays alive. Pretty good return. It tested Rusedski on the forehand volley.
Great serving by Rusedski. Under pressure, Sampras was looking to pounce. It's amazing to look down Pete Sampras' highlights for the year. final in Houston and a semi-final at Indian Wells, and included in his highlights, and only the third one, round of 16 at the Australian Open. For a guy that's won 63 titles, 13 Grand Slams, it's been a barren year to say the least. Minor hesitation by Rusedski. Sampras was able to slide that pass past him.
Well, it's the right play from Rusedski. This time Sampras with the answer.
Sampras.
8 points in a row for Sampras on his serve.
New balls, please.
He's 6-5 ahead. In some ways, when you analyse Sampras' career and Tiger Woods, it was a similar case scenario. Sampras wins the US Open at 18, a phenomenal couple of weeks, and then really doesn't back it up for another 18 months or so. Really felt the expectation level, and also that his game wasn't good enough. Woods, in the same way, wins the Masters and went off and remodeled his swing because he didn't think it was going to be secure enough down the stretch in the majors. Such is their high level.
The linesman just missing. Ducked her head underneath that serve.
Sampras knows he should have done better. Really in the middle of the box from Rusedski.
Yeah, the quality of the Sampras return has dropped this set. He just has not been able to get enough balls back into play. There's another one there. Certainly well served by Rusedski. You've got to make your opponent play. And Sampras has not done enough of that here in the third set. A nice bit of serving from Rusedski. And that should give him a boost going into this tiebreak.
Second love service game, and just the 6 points lost by Rusedski. His wife's been there before, through some heartbreakers here at the US Open, and some incredible highs as well on his run through to the final in '97. Most memorable was his semi-final victory over Jonas Bjorkman in 5 sets.
Ooh, it didn't miss by much. And that was a great victory, down 2-1. Rusedski able to resurrect the victory against the Swede.
Well, it's easy to say when he wins the point, but I don't feel as though he's employed that chip return enough. And they're doing what you said, Leif, just getting the ball back in play. Sampras just taking a moment here, breaking up Rusedski's rhythm. Yeah, he's made it. The crowd go crazy, and so does Sampras in some respects. It's about as much emotion as you'll ever see from him.
Well, we were wondering where the service return had gone. And here he is delivering 2 gems in the breaker.
crowd's loyalty lies.
4-0 Sampras.
Well, I'm glad he can smile about it, because you don't want to be dwelling on a point like that.
You know, sometimes that's the best way to deal with such an error. You know, that's got to make all the 3.5, 4.0 club players happy, because he does well to handle that awkward play. Oh my gosh. I think all tennis players can sleep more soundly at night knowing Sampras made an error like that.
It really could play a significant role in this match. 5-love with too many breaks, and this set is over. And also Sampras having to deal with the thought that I know I should be up 5-love. And now Rusedski delivers his 10th ace. Quickly followed by his 11th.
4-3.
And he's snapping at the heels of Sampras now. Extra effort from Sampras in terms of the grunt.
He is getting so animated here in this tiebreaker. Just searching for a little extra intensity.
He saved some of his best serving for the two tiebreakers in this match. Sampras with 3 set points. And Sampras saves his best to last in that set. What an awesome breaker by the former world #1. Just oozed class, and Rusedski was no match in the end. And Sampras 2 sets to 1 up. See Sampras here just trying to build himself up a little bit.
Thanks.
He really was shut out for the majority of that third set on the Rusedski serve. No surprise when you're facing bullets like that. He's going to win this match. He's going to have to go the distance once again.
Cell phones are off now, please.
Doesn't have the greatest 5-set record, Rusedski. 10 wins, 11 losses.
15.
Sampras, a very healthy 32 wins, 15 losses in 5-set matches.
Game. Rusedski. First game, fourth set.
Rusedski with a nice rhythm on his opening serve in the fourth.
And that was quite a 5-setter he had against Sishipan. 3 tiebreakers of the 5 sets. Rusedski winning 6-4 in the 5th. That should give him a boost of belief as well.
Rusedski's one victory over Sampras came in a best of 5-set match in Paris in 1998, indoors there. Rusedski's only Masters Series win. Took out Sampras that day, 6-4, 7-6, 6-3.
About 15. First serve was a fault. Well, back ups went off.
I'm not sure if Sampras thought that he was actually delivering a first serve there.
And makes that forehand look easy. In that same preparation, he can snap this cross court. So Rusedski just unsure of where Sampras is going to go.
A good shot there of how Sampras gets the spin on the ball. That sort of eastern grip that he has, the acceleration up the back. Just the same as on his serve. It's all very slow until just before the hit. Very loose arm and wrist. That's why it's going to be a tough ask for Sampras to win the US Open. As well as Rusedski's returned tonight, Hewitt will return better and keep the pressure on even more. And you just can't afford loose errors like that, whoever you are.
Well, this is a very unforced error. One of his favorite shots. Just not able to pull the trigger.
Rusedski with a break point from nowhere. And a gift-wrapped service game delivered from Sampras to Rusedski. Allows the British #2 to jump off to a 2-love lead.
And very rarely do you see a great champion like Sampras, after playing such a good 3rd set, just lose his focus as badly as he did in that game.
Is that becoming an Achilles heel, or do you think it just gets tougher as you get older to keep your focus for 5 sets?
I think it is a challenge for him, because he's played some shockingly bad games, as well as playing some great tennis. Just has not kept it together consistently.
Well, he made the ground easily, Sampras, and he would have expected better of himself.
This crowd is dying along with Sampras when he misses this.
13-15.
You know, it was in the same way in the second set, wasn't it? When he missed the volley on the break point to give Rusedski a chance. It's not as though Greg's actually played that well to break the Sampras serve. Dropping the serve so early on in this fourth set puts added pressure on the return straight away. Well, it's two loose games really from Sampras. You can't afford that against anyone, and especially Rusedski, who's hungry for the win. Sampras, love 3.
Well, his struggles this year have been well documented, and I think winning is oftentimes the best medicine. But he hasn't had as much winning as he would like. So he's never really been able to feel good about a result or his game. He's been losing too much. And that has made the struggle even deeper.
Well, it's habit forming, isn't it? You almost believe that that's where the match is going, regardless of the score.
Well, he's lost so many matches this year in the final stanza, the final sets. Oftentimes in a tiebreaker where he's unable to make the breakthrough.
And that was closer than he would have liked. And on the flip side of that, Rusedski really brimming with confidence coming into this match.
Sweet return there, where he used the pace of the Sampras delivery. Just chipped it down the line. He stung it.
Sampras steadies the ship to a certain degree.
Rusedski leads 3-1.
Rusedski's injury worries have been well documented as well. You said the stress fracture of the neck, the toe problem that he had throughout the course of 2000, but back to full health.
15 love.
And again, there's a sense of belief about Rusedski that he can turn matches around. I think when you're coming back from injuries, he went through that phase where it's just not going to happen. I'm not winning as much. Whereas now I think he's reacting better to adversity, which was always one of his greatest strengths.
A great pass from Sampras there. And we saw that from Rusedski this summer. You know, he did not play well in Toronto, did not play great tennis in Cincinnati, but stayed with it, and he didn't panic. He just kept applying himself. He knew he was in good health, and his form came to him.
Well,
that's a smart serve by Rusedski. Sub 100 and just swinging away from Pete.
Not enough on the volley. Well, you can volley into Sampras's backhand. but you've got to give it something. And that one sat up.
And that block return that Sampras employed there is something I just don't think he's done enough of tonight. He hasn't tested Rusedski's volleys. Too many free points. Both men who were so secure on their serves in the third set and looking decidedly fragile right now. Sampras with a break-back point. That's a nice way to save it.
And that lefty serve is so tricky because you see it in your eye coming to your racket, but really it's curving. And as it curves, it comes out of the hit, and you don't really have a swing at it. You can see Sampras really handcuffed.
Advantage Rusedski.
The previous serve saved the break point was quick as well. Just a mile slower than his fastest of the evening at 132. That's big serving from Rusedski just when he needed it. Looking as though he was wobbling, Sampras was ready to pounce. But the Brit's nerve held strong, and he leads 4-1.
So he is squarely in 4th place. Tournament titles. Can you name the 3 men ahead of him, Mark?
We'll go for Jimmy Connors.
Correct. 109 titles for Jimmy.
Ivan Lendl.
94 titles for Ivan Lendl.
John McEnroe.
77 titles for John McEnroe. You've done your homework. Well done.
Dinner's on you.
I wouldn't go that far, but certainly Bailey would buy you dinner. Actually, probably wouldn't, knowing Bailey.
I was going to say, you obviously haven't been hanging out with him.
So we finally got an overhead away. He's missed 2 badly. And that high volley. And watch this one. Rusedski almost tracks it down.
Sampras really thinking about this serve. And again there, Lee. It hurts him that he doesn't accelerate into the net like an Edberg. He would have had a pretty comfortable volley there.
Yeah, he just looked like he hesitated. He didn't move to the ball quickly, and it dropped on him. See both these men employing the same strategy. Rusedski's testing the Sampras backhand, and Sampras doing the same to Rusedski. Sampras behind now in this 4th set, and it's a dangerous back game. I hate to give up this break and have Rusedski cruising. 7th game here. Many consider it the most important game of a set. Hard to argue it if you look at this set in the context of this match.
Sampras a little unlucky with the net there. Risky shot by Rusedski. Certainly the crowd doing their best to lift Sampras.
And one thing you don't really get a feel for when you watch tennis on TV, as we're watching here, you just don't see just how heavy that serve is from Rusedski. It is a rocket. It hits the court and just caroms off up into the back stand. One of the biggest and best left-handed serves on the tour.
And again, the toughest thing for the right-handers is the ball's always moving in a different way than the majority of the time that you play. So few left-handers in the game at the moment. Well, the net really not helping Sampras in that game. Rusedski's first love service game in this fourth set takes him into a 5-2 lead. Going to change our opinion of him because we all think that way about him.
Yeah, and he often looked to history as a motivation. Well, he's surpassed history's greatest numbers in many ways. So the struggle for motivation has to be a significant force in how we see Sampras now, his level of play. He struggles with his motivation in many ways.
And he's struggling in this fourth set, trailing 2-5.
15 love.
It's been a pretty rapid-fire match as well. Just over 2.5 hours, almost 4 sets of play.
Got you love.
You could never consider it unlucky to serve 13 aces in a match. Rusedski's had that look of intensity about him all the way through this. Hasn't let the scoreline bother him. Just a little eager, you felt, Sampras, to get into the net behind the forehand. Didn't get a good base to hit the shot from. In many ways, it's been a nice match for Rusedski because after he has dropped a set, he's pretty much broken through early on to give himself a lift. The turn was floated too high. Easy pickings for Sampras. That wasn't the important game.
Rusedski leads 5-3.
This next Rusedski service game is. And Rusedski was serving out the second set. He served a love service game. We'll be hoping for more of the same.
Ooh, that is a fast serve on a big point.
That's a nice change-up. Subtle play by Sampras.
Sampras plays a lot of drop volleys, but you don't see him playing many drop shots.
30-15.
Interesting time for it. It paid off.
Spectacular return, just when he needed it from Sampras.
Well, I think he anticipates this. You see his grip's ready, his shoulders are turned. He's down on that about as well as he can be.
Oh, it's good from Rusedski. How cool was that?
Well, what counted was he was in such a good position. His feet were there. He was ready. He was able to pause just enough and then deliver the drop volley to take him to set point.
Both players delivering their best. Simply stunning return by Sampras. Rusedski gave it everything. Looks like Rusedski going to the chair to change his racket. He must have a string that's fraying, otherwise he wouldn't be doing this. What a critical moment.
Well, I'm surprised by this, but obviously he feels strongly that I've got to do something. Sampras has had some moments here with Rusedski tonight, and that was not a look of happiness, I can assure you.
Well, it certainly didn't look all that affectionate. Juice. He knows that was a chance. Second set point for Rusedski. He's done it. And for the second time in a row at this year's US Open, Rusedski's going to go the distance. He clinches the fourth set by 6 games to 3.
Final set. Sampras serve.
Oh, what a stunning return by Rusedski.
Now this is as good as it gets. You're stretched out wide, you block it, and you bring it in from the tram lines inside the sideline. Great start for the Brit.
But perhaps Sampras just slightly paying the price for over-serving the Rusedski backhand. He's getting a little jump on it.
Well, Rusedski's going to be leaning that way in anticipation, so he will get it early. Not that time. Not a convincing finish from Sampras there. He had a short ball, and he just sort of hit it back right to Rusedski, who had a chance but didn't do enough with it.
That time, no problems for Sampras on the overhead.
It was a better volley as well. He got it deep in the corner. And if you can push your opponent back behind that baseline, it makes the task of winning the point that much tougher.
Sampras with the early advantage in this final set.
First game, final set.
I think Sampras has got to feel like because he's serving first in this final set, he might have a slight edge. Because as he's done here, he's held his serve, and now he's ahead in the score. And even if it's only somewhat artificial in that, yes, he's held, I think there's a psychological edge as well. Rusedski will having to play from behind all the time. And I know you mentioned that, but how about Sampras' career record in 5-setters, 32 and 15, so plenty of experience coming at the Brit.
15 love.
Rusedski has found a golden rhythm on his serve in the last few games. How much of this fifth set will just be about belief?
I think a lot of it. I mean, every time Rusedski goes up to serve, I mean, he's got to have that belief. He's got to believe that he can win this match because there are going to be some big points coming up, and he has to be ready to deliver his best.
Sampras has missed that. Or did it touch Rusedski's racket? I think it got a piece of Rusedski's racket.
Yes, it did. And Rusedski unable to either pull his racket out of the way. Certainly too much pace from the backhand.
Edgy moments early on in this final set for Rusedski. Not very much a percentage first serve at 101 miles an hour.
Well, I can assure you, for all of Sampras' struggles he's had in this match, partly due to Rusedski's good play, Sampras, because he's a great champion, he still feels like this is his match. And if he can play well here in this final set, he's going to prevail. And that's why champions are what they are.
Awesome.
You know, there's a little bit of pressure on Sampras as well, because this is his last chance this year to really salvage something. The whole measure of a year for Sampras is around how he performs in the majors, and it hasn't happened for him. Oh, it's unlucky. It was a good return of serve by Rusedski, one of the few he's actually hit on the backhand side.
Oh, boy. I mean, that's some clutch tennis right there. Second serve, 15-all, one game all, fifth set. Snaps off an ace.
Because it doesn't happen as often these days, you can really appreciate it, you know, when it does. he almost took it for granted for about 6 years that on a big point, Sampras would just serve an ace on the second serve.
40-15.
Well, he looked a little wobbly at the beginning of that service game, but certainly not by the end. Sampras delivers some of his best serving.
2-1.
He's ahead 2-1. Sweetly done by Rusedski. Effortless.
15 love.
Not easy as well to keep your eye on the ball and the focus as you can see your opponents trying to move in behind a quality return.
Pressure love.
The other thing that's so difficult when you play Rusedski is when you're not getting into service games and you're just getting frozen out all the time. It's tough to find a rhythm for 4 points.
Pressure love.
And that serve might be his most valuable tonight. That one out to the forehand, you can see Sampras unable to even move for it. I mean, that hammers into the box and skids away from the right-hander.
$40-15.
And in a perverse sort of way, Leaf, it may be better for Rusedski serving second. We've almost seen him play better when he's been behind in this tournament, up against Alex Kim, up a set 2-1, up a break, started to lose his way, got out of jail really in the third set there, down 3 set points. And against Shishipan in the 5th set, was up 5-2, double break. Just barely served it out.
I think Greg has shown that he has not been a great front runner. I mean, he is better when necessity motivates him to win, and the pressure's off to some degree, and that he's behind in the score.
Dan Rusedski, 2-all.
Clutch service game by Rusedski. He's fidgeting. They've been talking about it a little bit here at the US Open, and it's a stat that's not on our monitor, but apparently he's touched his socks 40 times in the last 5 games. So certainly Rusedski very much ahead in that category, and he is fidgety. Nice cut off from Sampras, but it's a subconscious thing, isn't it, Leaf? We've all been there. You just kind of get in a bit of a rut.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those idiosyncrasies that all tennis players have in their unique way of dealing with the pressure. Leighton Hewitt plays with those tennis strings mercilessly. I guess Rusedski feels his socks need to be elevated before every point.
Sampras did well to dig that out to a length.
And he put some nasty side spin on it as well. He really drew the racket face below and across the ball. Some more jittery fixing of those strings, displacing that nervous energy.
And McEwen just confirming the call. And the 5th double fault for Sampras.
Ooh, that one did not miss by much. And Rusedski had given that forehand a good ride cross court. So Sampras a little lucky coming into that Rusedski forehand. I see Rusedski touching his shoulder a little bit. Has he had any problems with the shoulder?
I don't think so. I think that's just something else he hasn't touched. Only body part he hasn't touched. Sampras sweeps it into the corner. And he's holding firm on his serve. 3-2, the American leads. He really has covered the net well, Rusedski.
15 love.
And for a big man, he gets down well to that low volley.
He really does. I mean, he uses his knees and his feet well. That's a tough task for any volleyer, but much less one as tall as Greg Rusedski.
Play that, please. Machine beeps. Cyclops beeps for some reason.
Stroke of
A big
3
gap,
hours. Mechanical problems on the Louis Armstrong court. Cyclops going off on its own free will.
It was well inside, Pete. It was enough to play in top side the zone.
He's handled that about as well as he can, Wayne McEwen. There's been more variety about Rusedski serving than there has about Sampras's.
I think so, yeah. Rusedski's thrown in quite a few sort of off-speed, high-bouncing serves, and it's really disrupted the Sampras return. Good example there on that last one.
No real racket preparation or footwork on that shot by Rusedski.
Yeah, it's almost like he got to the net first and hit the shot second. You've got to execute the shot before you make that transition move into the net. Huge point here.
14-15.
Well, Pete's not interested in that call whatsoever. Well, this could be interesting. I think Sampras is saying the linesperson called it out.
Ball was good, but we're playing the left. Greg.
Well, this is fascinating. It's a tough call either way. It looks as though it's got a piece of the line.
I know, but she changed the call after she looked at Pete.
Yes, but I don't know when the call came.
I know, but if you call the score, that's a point, isn't it?
I didn't hear the call. That's why I called the score.
No, you're playing 11 at least?
We're playing 11. That's what I said. That's it.
Well, I got a feel a little bit there for Rusedski because I agree with him. I got the feeling that the lineswoman did change her call when Pete gave her the look.
Yeah, well, I think Pete was saying that she made the call, but it wasn't loud enough for Wayne McEwen to hear it. McEwen called the score, and that should be enough right there. Rusedski had a legitimate gripe. Well, Sampras insistent on driving that backhand cross court, and Rusedski stayed home and covered the volley. Boy, this was a huge point here. That's it. Boy, the battle's waged.
Certainly is. It's as though that bad call and that little incident has fired both men up. It certainly fired the crowd up.
Well, this has such an intensity about it, a real Davis Cup drama. The American crowd getting behind their man.
I tell you what, that looked like a home call.
Well, the double fault has cost Rusedski at other parts of this match. And now a double fault for Sampras to draw even at deuce.
I have to say, it would be a shame if Rusedski does drop his serve in this game. Well, the crowd's getting all over Rusedski. Delighted at every single mistake he makes. Sampras over the years has earned their respect. And he's also earned a break point.
Thank you. Please.
That's a good leave from Rusedski.
And what a clutch second serve. I mean, he went right into the body where he's had some success before. Now, that's what it takes to win big matches like that. You've got to dive headlong into the pressure moments.
Advantage Rusedski.
And again, Rusedski showing his character. Fantastic little angle on that volley by Rusedski. And an absolutely crucial game for the British #2 to get out of. And it was a game full of incident. There's people from the Arthur Ashe court trying to look over at the Louis Armstrong court. Everybody at Flushing Meadows trying to get a view of this match. It's all on the line for Sampras and Rusedski.
Well, that's where Sampras gets beaten, when he's got to stretch out wide on the first volley. Unable to dig up that very effective return from Rusedski. Just bunted down the line perfectly. That was beautifully done. It's interesting to watch Sampras now and realize that when he was a young player, young teenager, he was playing like Michael Chang with a two-handed backhand, grinding it out from the baseline. He gave up the two-hander. Decided to play instead like Rod Laver, his hero.
Sampras equaling Rusedski's total of 17 aces in this match. Almost pulls it off Rusedski, but the drama is increasing with every game in this final set. Rusedski trailing 3-4. This is what the US Open is all about. Fifth set, dramatic evening session. And the crowd have been fully into this one all the way through. Sampras, who doesn't always show his passion, but the New York crowd always do.
Thank you.
New balls for Rusedski.
And now it's Rusedski delivering an ace on a second serve. It's his best weapon, the serve, so he's going to use it as often as he can. Great volley. And oftentimes that mishit return is a tricky volley to play because it doesn't give you any pace. Great American Brad Gilbert made a living out of taking off the pace and delivering a nothing return, and that time Rusedski created something special.
Rusedski using the advantage of the new balls well here.
Sampras nearly pulls off that chip cross court. Rusedski with a convincing service game. So which one of these men will blink first? So this crowd has stayed with this match. No one has left the arena.
Be a feeling amongst the crowd at times is how often is Sampras going to be back at the US Open. It's going to be one of the last times they see their hero in action. Sampras has committed himself to next year, and then he's going to see how that goes. Rusedski, it's a slice of luck.
15-all.
It was a good return of serve, forced Sampras backwards.
That was a big second serve.
30-15.
Got a sense that Rusedski was in that game. the server ahead. It's a different approach to it.
A nervous-looking volley by Sampras.
But the old
Perhaps the moment getting to him.
You can see how difficult that floating return is. Sampras did not play it decisively. Well, he's gone to the bank there a couple of times this game. Out wide to the Rusedski backhand, and Rusedski unable to get that return back into play.
Sampras holds, keeps the pressure on Rusedski. And the British player will have to come out and serve to stay in this match.
Sampras leads 5-4. Thank you.
Well, Sampras probably playing his best returning point of the match.
Well, this serve didn't tail away from Sampras. He was able to get something solid on it. What a pretty forehand.
And what a response from Rusedski. Again, Rusedski going into the body and trying to jam Sampras.
And Sampras has had trouble with that forehand return. He can't get his front foot down on it.
Sends Rusedski the wrong way. Sends the ball sailing past.
Well, Rusedski has tried to volley away from the forehand. But watch how Sampras backs off the backhand to find this one. Look at him work the feet. Stayed down beautifully.
How's that? No more than half a chance. Sampras snaps it up. So after over 3 hours and 15 minutes of play, Sampras stands there at match point. He's done it! Delight for Sampras. And you can see what it means to him. Gracious in defeat as ever by Rusedski, and you have to feel for him. But look at the Sampras camp. They've been through it this year, but he's given them something to smile about. And Rusedski bitterly disappointed.
Well, this was special. Sampras earned it. I almost thought Rusedski had that forehand. He didn't miss it by much. But this was another great 5-set win for one of the greatest players of all time.